Hey everybody, Brooks of Drag Times here. Welcome back to the channel. The day has finally come. It is time to move on and retire the famous or infamous, or however you want to call it, McLaren 720S. I've had the fortunate opportunity to actually own both of these cars for quite a few months now. I wanted to keep both cars for a while because, well, the Ferrari SF90 wasn't ready yet, and car values have been slowly increasing over time. So I felt like I was pretty much having the 720 for free while I was keeping the 765 LT, and I would wait for the SF90 to actually hit the water, come overseas, and then I would put the 720S up for sale. So the car is sold, it's moving on, but I thought I would do as a final review of comparing basically the 765 and the 720S from drivability, comfort, sound, speed, the whole works. Since I've owned both cars, I've actually had the 720S for 4 years now. It's been just an incredible car. You've seen all the races. I think the record, well, actually, let's put that out there. Guess the win-loss record over the 4 years of the McLaren 720S, and that's per video. So if it was 2 out of 3, whoever won the 2 out of 3, what is the win-loss record of the 720S? I can only think of maybe 3 losses, maybe 4, but let me know in the comments what the record is. I'll actually look that up towards the end of the video. I'll put in what the actual win-loss record is. But nevertheless, let's get started checking out the 720S and the 765 LT. Of course, we got Azores Orange. This car stickered at $331,000. Not a lot of options on this car. And I did the same thing with the 765 LT. This is Napier Green. Not a lot of options on this car. This car came out at $380,000. So $50,000 more. However, as I've gone over in a previous video, the 765 comes with a lot of options standard. That means no additional cost in the price of the car that are indeed optional on the 720S. When you option out all the optional stuff that is included at no charge in the 765, put that on the 720S. These two cars, believe it or not, are about the same price, within just a few $1,000s of each other. So let's start off visually. Front end, both are the palladium painted colors. I didn't pay extra for the exposed carbon fiber. Now this is actually plastic and this is actually carbon fiber. However, this is painted instead of exposed. They actually charge extra money for that. But you can see the differences. You know, this has a much more aggressive front end look with this coming out here, additional arrow here, front much more plain on this side. Coming down the sides of the cars, obviously you have the signature LT side skirt coming up on the side here. Nothing on the 720S as we roll back. And looking right here, of course, you got the kind of one of the intakes for the car down here, or cooling, and up here they moved it forward, and of course this is much lower and more pronounced on the LT. Rolling towards the back, of course, you have the signature LT fender flails out the back here. Not so on the 720S, and much more aggressive diffuser in the back as well. As you can see down here, this diffuser is way more aggressive and lower, has more fins than the 720S. And of course, onto the exhaust, 2 exhaust pipes kind of coming straight out over here. And on the 720S, we have 4 pipes angled up, exposed titanium. You can actually see the pipes starting to turn blue right here. Other exterior differences you'll notice having them side by side. The wing on the 765 much more pronounced, much larger, comes out farther, and actually has an indentation if you look right here. I'm not sure why this is here. It could be 2 reasons. Either protected against the exhaust coming up, or actually when you're in the car and this wing is up, this indentation, when it flips up, makes visibility much easier coming out the back here. So this is really appreciated for me, because when the wing comes up, you can actually see over it. Of course, if you have the roof scoop, which I do not have, no roof scoop, that obstructs the vision completely in the 765 LT. Of course, you also notice the 765 has fender vents free of charge of carbon fiber. These pieces are also carbon, and onto the back, mirrors carbon, and these intakes back here in carbon. This is known as the Carbon 1 package, which is included for free on the 765. That is not on my 720S. As you can see, we just got plain palladium colored mirrors and no carbon fiber back here either. As for the wheel design, these are the lightweight wheels in the diamond graphite finish. You can't actually get this finish anymore. These are, well, there's only one wheel choice on the 765. I chose diamond cut. These are actually lighter than these, and actually lighter than the super lightweight version that came on the 720S by 2 pounds per wheel. That is pretty hard to get. And these also include titanium lug nuts as well to reduce weight. All right, so next off, let's have a little sound off. Let's see how much different, although it's the same basic engine, does the 765 sound better with the titanium exhaust? Let's start them up and see. We'll jump in here. We'll do a relatively cold start in the 765. Get this thing started up. All right, quick cold start in the 765 LT. Of course, look at right here. This is where I keep my Ridge wallet. If you like titanium exhaust, you're gonna love this titanium Ridge wallet. Of course, you guys have seen the Ridge wallet on my channel before. It is a sleek front pocket wallet. Fits right in your front pocket. Super thin, super light. Saves a lot of space compared to those bulky wallets carrying around a lot of stuff you never even use. This thing's so slim. Little money clip in the back. This is the burnt titanium edition, which, if you don't know, matches with, you got it, titanium exhaust on the 765. Ridge has special Father's Day specials going on. They got a ton of styles to choose from. Money back guarantee if you don't like it, and if it breaks, they will send you a new one for the lifetime of the product. 40,000 5-star ratings on the Ridge. If you want to save 10%, use the Drag Times code, link down in the description. There we go. All right, now let's hop in the 720S and see what this one sounds like. Get in here. Definitely noticeable inside the car that it's quieter. That I could say. That might not be portrayed on camera, but nevertheless, definitely quieter right off the bat. All right, onto the interior of the car. First difference you'll notice right away is this has the P1 bucket seats, right? So these are the carbon fiber backed racing seats. Does not move front or back, just moves, doesn't tilt, but does move front and back, and that is it. And I have some green stitching on here. Over to the 720. Now on the 720S, these are the sport bucket seats. These do move back and forth. These are the manual seats, which means they are lighter than the standard electric seats or the optional electric seats you get in this car by about 40 pounds, but not as light as the P1 seats. So you can see that it's got a manual adjustment here, up and back, and you can also tilt it front and back here, and it's of course got the orange trim. Comfort wise, I feel like these are definitely more comfortable. However, once you're in the P1 seats, they're just fine. So additional weight savings is definitely welcome inside the 765 LT. All right, on to the interior car. Let's go over some of the differences. First up, carbon interior pack 1 is standard. So we got carbon fiber here, no carbon in the 720S. This entire center console is also exposed carbon. There's no lid here that the 720S has, as I'll show you. You can get that optional, it's a couple $1,000. I did not pay an extra couple $1,000 to have a lid on here. Also on the doors, you'll notice there are no opening pockets that you'll see in the 720S. Just comes with this little compartment for some paperwork. You can get that as well. It adds weight for an additional charge. Other than that, the interior is pretty much the same. Of course, this is full Alcantara versus some leather pieces on the 720. There's also some carbon bits here and on here that I do not have in the 720S. One of the bigger differences that you definitely notice when driving this car is that the roof right here is solid. So as you can see, these are solid carbon panels compared to the 720S, which has glass roof. Honestly, I prefer the glass roof. It brightens up the interior of the car. However, if you got the carbon ones like in this car, you're saving weight over the glass roof. But personally, I don't know how much weight that saves. I probably would have chose a glass roof in the 765 LT. 765 also has these extended carbon shift paddles, which come up much higher. Now, initially, I didn't think I really needed these. However, when you go back to the 720S and you see that with these little tiny paddles, they're actually hard to reach. I definitely prefer these. These were optional on the 720S. I think it's a couple $1,000 if you want to get these on the 720. All right, so as you can see in the 720S, we got leather over here, center flip up console, not in the 765, doesn't have this. Also, we have door pockets, which actually don't open up when the door is open, but if you close them, there's some kind of magnet or something like that. So that is optional. You can feel this. I guess it weighs maybe an extra pound. So that was optional in the 765 here, or these shorter shift paddles. Definitely like the carbon ones that are kind of up here in the 765. These little mini things, I definitely like the bigger ones. And of course, no carbon on the inside at all in this car. Carbon is optional. But of course, the big nice thing about the inside of this one is these Gorilla Glass roof right here, which definitely brightens up the inside. And if you can see this view right here, looking back, you know, great visibility in this car versus the 765 is just a little bit darker here with the solid carbon fiber roof. In the back, relatively the same. Of course, you have a luggage strap in the 720, not in the 765 LT. In the 765, it's just a clean backward area, of course, with the 765 emblem there in the back. Here's that same view in the 765 LT. Of course, you can see the solid roof. Definitely not as bright, and seems like less visibility. I mean, obviously you're not looking up to see back, but you know, just definitely a little darker in the 765 LT. All right, so enough going through those kind of features. Let's take each out for a drive now along the same road. This could be the last drive in the McLaren 720S. Let's hop in and give it one last spin. What do you guys think of the colors? Napier green, Azores, what do you prefer? I'm really loving the green, even though I thought it would get old. I thought I would be tired of this like limeade green color, but man, it just doesn't get old at all. Just look at the way the sun hits right here and turns a little yellowish. What a perfect color. All right, so first impressions right off the bat is that it just doesn't shake and it doesn't have that rumble that the 765 has. And that's after I haven't driven this car in actually a few weeks, and you notice it immediately. Now I'm in track right now, so we're just gonna cruise on. This is a kind of bumpy road. Steering is definitely lighter in the 720 than in the 765. I mean, no doubt the 720 still moves. It is a very fast car. But as you'll see when I get in the 765, I'll try to express to you, it just doesn't have that liveliness that the 765 has. It has a lot to do with the shorter gearing in the 765. It is, I think, 15% shorter. Audio-wise, it just doesn't rumble. It doesn't have that LT feeling that we're getting in the 765. I'm in track, and it still feels pretty light in the steering when I'm moving back and forth compared to the LT. Acceleration-wise, I'm sure it burns the tires as well. I mean, the car definitely moves, but wow, I could notice right off the bat, like if you put me blindfolded and didn't tell me what car I was in, I would tell you right away 765 versus 720, just based on the rawness of the feel of the car. And that gearing makes all the difference. This car is actually, you might not notice it when you owned a 720S, but it's pretty laggy. I mean, at 40 miles an hour, it just kind of takes a little while to kind of really get going. This car is definitely no slouch, but you can definitely notice the difference of how quick the boost comes on and that shorter gearing in the 765. So third gear, we're sitting, you know, 4,000 RPM at 50 miles an hour. It takes a while to get moving, but once the boost comes on, this car moves. All right, so first thing you'll notice when 720S versus 765 inside is the vibration. Just look at the rear or the side view mirror right here in the 720S. Look how that rock solid, not moving. Now watch what happens we get in the 765. Now look at the mirror in the 765. I'm sure you can see it, but it's vibrating, and when you're looking at the mirror, it's always shaking. Never really a clear picture in that. Hopefully you guys can see that. The 765. I mean, it's just the traction light was flashing already on this car. The shorter gearing and the extra power just makes for a phenomenal difference in the drive. So I'm in the same track mode here. I don't know if you can see if there's any difference, but I'm definitely bouncing up quite a bit more on this same road than I was. You can probably actually hear it in my voice bouncing around on this road right here. I would say when you switch this to comfort mode in the 765, it feels like track mode in the 720S. I think that's probably a decent comparison of the kind of rideability that both cars have. The boost just comes on a lot quicker because the gears are shorter. There could be some other differences. Obviously it has more power, so it's going to come on stronger. Another thing I would definitely say between the two cars is that the 765 pulls back power if you have traction completely on, and I don't feel like the 720 does. So like when I turn traction off, even just level 1, and get on it, there's a noticeable difference in speed. So for anyone racing 765s, if you're going to do so, make sure you do it with traction off. I mean, wow, this car is just phenomenal. Handling wise, it just feels more precise, and it's not as floaty. You know, when you're moving back and forth like this in the 720, it just seems to move around a little bit more. The 765 exhaust also has more pops and crackles than the 720, and you can usually get that by being kind of in a higher gear and kind of letting off the throttle. It's kind of hard to hear unless I had an exhaust mic on the car though. All right, so you can see the same acceleration here. I mean, I had to short shift a little bit to keep it moving, but man, the car just spin city. And that's probably because the tires are a little bit cold, but still a lot more power in this car for sure. Bring it up into that same gear. We were at third gear, 4,000 RPM. And you can see at 4,000 RPM, and when you gun it, it just moves out quicker all around. Do that again. See if we can give it a little first gear roll here. Wow. This car gives you a rush of adrenaline every time you take it out. right, so there you go. That's a wrap of 765 versus 720S, the final farewell video. Obviously, performance-wise, I wasn't able to race them right now, but I will drop a clip of these two racing. If you missed it, we did drag race these at the drag strip. Heads up, and obviously the 765 demolished it, setting the quickest world record time down the quarter mile, 9.3 at 151.8 miles an hour. Of course, that could be beaten real soon by the upcoming Tesla Plaid Model S, which I have on order, and it should be coming any week now. My final thoughts comparing to the two: there is no reason why I would ever choose a 720 over the 765 LT. The better gearing, the more power, the lighter weight. This one actually, I weighed both, and this one was over 100 pounds lighter, 3,015 pounds for the 765, and on the 720S weighed in at like 3150 or 3160, something like that. So lighter weight, better gearing, more horsepower, way better looks, more aggressive, better aero, and better handling, of course. So the only drawback, I guess, is price. Of course, the 765 LT, if you go to price them out right now, these cars are in super, super high demand. I mean, they're trading for $50,000 to $100,000 over MSRP. Now, how long will that last? Who knows? The car market is really crazy right now. My 720s is actually worth $40,000 more than it was probably about a year ago. Now, of course, when this 765 LT Spider comes out, which of course I am on the list for, I think I'm gonna spec basically the same car, a Napier green Spider with the same kind of options. Those should be released, I hear, at Goodwood, and we'll be able to get that order in and probably take delivery about a year from now. Now, of course, when the Spider comes out, that could drop the price of the coupe a little bit, but with only 765 of these examples made throughout the entire world, and the probably last of the, you know, V8 straight twin turbos without the hybridization, this car could continue to hold value for a very, very long time. All right, and just like that, it is time to say goodbye to the McLaren 720S. 4 years of, wow, just an amazing time, and it is off to the new owner. I'm sure he's gonna have a ton of fun with this car. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up, helps the video and the channel. And if you wanna see what's coming next, make sure you subscribe.